Boys, I got a very real problem. I'm addicted to wearing sunglasses in my YouTube videos. Anyway, if you're grinding in an expensive Western city, trying to build your business, trying to build your body, trying to build your freedom, you're actually doing it on hard mode. It's like playing Minecraft in survival when you could be playing it in creative. There is a cheat code though, and it's called Geo-Arbitrage. I'm gonna break down exactly how moving to a cheaper country can fast track your goals and why most people will never take advantage of it. Geo-Arbitrage definition. Geo-Arbitrage is simple. Earn in a strong currency, spend it in a weak one. That means you're making dollars, pounds, euros, and spending baht, rupiah, or pesos. I'm not saying you should be one of those dickhead people who goes to a third world country and acts like they're better than everyone else just because they got a slightly higher salary. For example,
but my money, okay, build your country.
Can you believe that? What is the actual result when you do this? Lower cost of living, longer runway, faster savings, and a much higher quality of life because you're getting more bang for your buck. You can be spending less and living more. And especially when we're young people, when we're first trying to break out, when we're trying to get ahead in life and we're trying to pursue our goals, the amount we're spending is very, very important because this is the time in our life where we've got no real responsibilities, don't have kids, don't really have any family apart from the ones you grew up with. So when you have this opportunity, really, you've got to use it now. Because if you're going to use it when you're in your late 20s, in your 30s, and you started a family, you've got to uproot everything and move, and it becomes so much harder. So if you're living in LA and you're making $2,000 a month, that's like barely survivable. But if you're living in Thailand, especially in a less touristy area, that's luxury. If you know how to spend it, you're living a really good life. That difference is the leverage that we want to be using here. Everyone in the world has a very complicated life. Probably everyone in the world has at one point in time said to themselves, I'm going to make it, I'm going to be successful. And most of them fail, not because they're dumb, but because they either run out of time or they run out of money. Geo-Arbitrage buys you both. You get more freedom, more clarity, and more focus because you're not constantly stressed about bills, traffic, or heaven forbid, a $10 coffee from Starbucks. When I first took the leap, when I first took the risk and I left Australia completely, I essentially cut my living costs in half. And suddenly I had this much bigger margin mentally and financially to go all in on business and on training. When you're in a Western country, it's not just about the amount you're spending. You've got all these other costs that add up. Taxes. In Australia, I was paying 45 cents on the dollar. So not only are you paying more on rent, food, everything to do with your bills, you're also paying a lot in tax. Right now in Thailand, the only tax I pay is on money that I actually spend here. If I earn it in a different country and I keep it in that bank account and I never bring it to Thailand, essentially it's tax-free. So you've got all these different things, all these different factors that add up. And at the end of the day in Thailand, I've essentially got more than twice as much money as I would have if I was still trying to make it in Australia. So this all sounds perfect. But what can you actually build faster when you move to a cheaper country? Your body. You get access to cheaper, high quality gyms, trainers, combat sports, healthy food. All of this is going to be so much cheaper in a place like Thailand as opposed to Australia. Less stress. My day-to-day pace of living in Thailand is far different from what it was when I was doing 60 hours a week in a corporate job in Australia. So less stress, better recovery. Already, boom, pillar one, our body, sorted, so much better. Pillar two, business. Lower monthly burn. You're not throwing out money just to survive anymore. You've got more time to test because your savings are going to go so much further. You've got more time to learn and you've got more time to grow. And depending on where you choose and depending on the lifestyle you want, you've got fewer distractions. If you go somewhere where you know no one, you don't have people calling you all the time saying, hey, let's go out this weekend, let's go to the club Saturday night and waste all our money. But full disclosure, that completely depends on you, the area you choose, and the lifestyle you want to leave. For as many success stories that we have coming out of Thailand, we have just as many failures of people who got sucked into the party lifestyle, burned all their money there, fell in love with a bar girl, and ruined their life completely. So you've still got to be smart about it. It's not a guaranteed win. You've still got to put some work in and use some of this one up here. Third, your mindset. culture shock forces growth. I had never left Australia before. I'd barely even left the state I grew up with. Coming to a completely different country, completely different way of life, completely different customs by myself was a pretty big culture shock. But I leveled up mentally so much in that first 6-month trip I took here. I'm not saying I went to some holistic retreats and found myself. That's not what I'm saying. You will get very real mindset growth just from relocating out of your hometown. You learn to adapt. Adaptability is a massive skill. Nothing in the world stays forever. Nothing is permanent. You can have good days, you can have bad days. The faster you can learn to adapt, the easier your life is going to be. And new environments also equals new standards. When I first pulled up to the Muay Thai gym, I was surrounded by people infinitely better than me. And this forces growth. If everyone around you is better and everyone around you is doing something which you want to do in future, you have no choice but to level up. Vice versa, if you stay in your home country and you're with your school friends and they're a bunch of losers, you've got no choice but to be like them. So environment changes your standard massively. But relocation is not a lot of things. It's not a vacation. It's not a way to run from responsibility. It's not about being a lazy bum in paradise. People fall for these three all the time. If you don't have discipline before you move, all that's going to happen is you're going to waste your time in a different time zone. But if you have a clear plan, if you move with a very real intention and you treat it like a mission, you treat it like something you're going to go achieve and conquer, and you give it energy and you give it fire, you are going to grow faster than you ever thought possible. So, 3 simple steps on how to start. Firstly, build any remote income, but it has to be remote. Freelance, affiliate, coaching, content, even just $1,000 a month goes way further overseas. Step 2, pick a builder city, not a party zone. Maybe Chiang Mai, Bali, Bangkok, any place like that. Quiet, fast Wi-Fi, good food, strong gyms. That's essentially the checklist. That's all you need to build something very real. 3, set a routine before you go. Wake up time, your work blocks, your gym times, your discipline has to be first and your location should be second. If you have all the discipline in the world, location doesn't matter. If you have no discipline, location will not help you in any way, shape, or form. So contrary to what you probably see from a lot of Bali influencers online doing their matcha latte fucking Pilates classes, geo-arbitrage is not a trend. It's a very real strategy. It's the move most people are too scared or too comfortable to make. But if you've got the guts to leave the herd, you can build a life that not only looks good, but feels good as well. So smash subscribe if you're serious about building freedom faster and living life on your terms. So if you haven't relocated and you want to, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Maybe I can help you out with it. We'll see. Drop a like on this video, put the bell on, send it to your mum, let her know all about me, all that good stuff. And as always, gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video. Woo!